Good evening. This is SNN, the Sorcerer's News Network, which is your not even remotely close to around the clock Disney Sorcerer's Arena news, reactions, reviews, theory crafting, and more source. I'm Sir Georges, your host, along with Celiac Sarah, and we welcome Thraken onto the show tonight as our special guest. Welcome, Thraken.
Hey everyone, glad to be here.
Hey.
How have you been, Sarah?
I've been good. How have you been?
I've been good.
Are you still on vacation?
I am still on vacation.
Right
Sounds
on.
nice.
So I was on the east coast of Florida, then I was in upper Alabama, and now I am in the west coast of Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's been a good trip. Good seeing
Like
different parts of family.
Good.
But we're here for the Disney Sorcerer's Arena headlines.
Yeah.
So, as always, we'll start the show with your SNN headline news. Today we have 2 content updates to go over. The first one was a week ago, in which they added Hero from Big Hero 6 to the game, as well as another Sorcerer's Trial.
Mm-hmm. Which is finishing right now, basically,
Yes.
in a couple hours.
Yeah.
Tell us about that Sorcerer's Trial, Sarah.
Well, you need your mythical characters for it. I should start with that. It's called Spectral Standoff. And you get health and crit chance building, crafting materials for the stones, and then the stone currency to buy them, I guess. Surprisingly, not that bad. There are not that many mythical characters in it, so I don't think a lot of people got to do this one.
Mm-mm. Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. There are very few mythical characters, but they lightened up the requirements for this one compared to
They did.
Yeah.
the Wilds one.
Yeah, because further is a very loose term. I got to the second tier or whatever you want to call it of this one.
Me too.
And
same.
Wilds, I only did the first one.
Yeah, exactly
If
same.
So they must have. Yeah, they definitely did lighten up because I don't even know what the words I'm looking for are. You needed lower requirements to get into it.
Yeah. Which I didn't realize until a day or two ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize I could have done this. No, it's only been around for 2 days. But if I had known that the second tier was only 2 characters, right? 2 at Gear 4.
Gear 4, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third one is 3 at Gear 4?
3 Gear 5.
3 at Gear 5. Okay.
Yeah.
If I had known that, I might have tried to gear up my mythical. Because I've got 3 that are okay.
I only have 2 unlocked. So.
Yeah.
How have you been with it, Kraken?
I got to the second stage too. My mythical characters are definitely not very developed. I have like Manticore. I guess Olaf is technically the most developed out of them.
Yeah.
So it's honestly been kind of interesting to see how who's doing very well in these events right now.
I think it's like an interesting way to force people to build their roster wide instead of narrow.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But not mad about it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's not that bad. And it's just health and what was it? Health and
oh man, what was it? I literally just looked at it.
Crit chance.
Health and crit chance, yeah.
So I don't feel too bad about it ultimately.
Yeah, and I think the thing right now for people that is valuable is getting the currency.
Yeah, to get the stones as you want, the shards.
Exactly. So, and then from there you can figure out where your weak points are to focus on what crafting materials you're going to need for your roster. But the key, because I used currency today and I bought, oh, that's a lie. I bought a health stone. I was going to say I didn't buy the one that it gave me the materials for, but I did. So
Nice. Yeah, let's see. Let's look at my mythical. Because I worked on Sally a good bit,
Oh yeah.
and I worked on Olaf. He's high star at least, because
You have
I'm getting
Hades?
ready. I do not.
Hades was big for this event for me.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of Hades, which is why, like in Arena, which is why I asked.
Oh, the third one that I had at Gear 4 already that could have been close was Oogie Boogie.
Okay.
So I was close to reaching the third tier of this with Sally, Oogie Boogie, and the other one I mentioned.
I am really close to unlocking Sally, but then they moved her to only Grand Campaign, and I refuse. I refuse to get off my Olaf and spend train.
Yeah, you can't.
I was like, I can't do it. If it was still in regular energy, I would have gone for it. But
yes, I am liking most of the decisions the developers are doing, but I'm disliking the quick, sudden, only like 1 or 2 day warning of these characters are no longer on campaign nodes. Now they're in the Grand Campaign. Because we just got hit with Elastigirl and a couple other ones that are now. The Grand Campaign energy is too precious. The refreshes cost too much. That when they're adding every single character there, it's impossible to effectively farm in a timely fashion.
You got to watch your ads for your Grand Campaign energy.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely spots to put these characters. Like looking at the Club Exchange store, like I don't really need Baloo or Yzma or Gaston or Hopper there.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I am curious how often they're going to roll those stores around with new characters, or if they'll leave them the same. Because eventually, it's going to be obsolete.
Yeah.
Or you just don't want the character. One or the other.
So they, in that last update, added the new Sorcerer's Trial for Mythical that we just discussed. They did some node changes there, adding Rafiki to 4F, Simba to node 5D.
Yeah.
Removing Darkwing Duck. So now the only way to farm Darkwing Duck besides your daily task is from. Oh, I can't check without upgrading him. I was trying to.
Oh, the game? Is it live already?
Oh, this one is, yeah.
Oh, mine's not. Unless
this one from last week.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that one. I thought let me check.
I think Darkwing Duck is only now on a very hard.
Yeah, he's in 6A of Grand Campaign.
Yeah. Okay. So now he has just become very hard to obtain. But so what makes this notable is that we are now seeing event-only characters added to campaign nodes in Grand Campaign.
Yeah. What I like about this though, which kind of you can tell that they're not really making the events totally pointless. In the case of like Simba, Scar is not added, so only Simba and only like those first 2 books, and then which is great because if you want to get ahead, then you can get ahead.
Same thing with like Manticore from Ian and Barley.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like that they're still keeping it so that the event rolls around again and there's still a purpose to the event.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and it's really good that you're able to because before that, like certain characters like Simba were just not farmable at all.
Mhm.
And or Rafiki, and like to be able to farm them to get ready for the event to get the character that they are advertising in the event
Yep.
is going to be like really useful, especially when like we have these events coming around as often as they have been.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And then you're not like for Simba in particular, or even Ian and Barley with that one. If you really wanted to get Manticore or you really wanted to get Scar, you're going to be spending refreshes in those events. So it's kind of cool that now you don't have to do it. I would like to see it though, so that and I think they're going to do this with those event styles in particular, that the event would come around maybe 2 or 3 times before they drop those characters on the campaign nodes.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean they need to stop doing the event.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like you said, Scar and Manticore. Because I would like in the future where there's so many old events and new events, that there's just always multiple events going at a time.
Yeah.
It engages really well.
Exactly. And like the goal of any mobile game is obviously like profit, of course, but also how much time are you spending in the game? Right. How much time is your player community spending in the game? So the more stuff you can have going on to keep them in there is good.
Yeah, and I think that they are doing a good job. I think they're kind of following the Aladdin Jasmine model, because Aladdin and Jasmine were both farmable, and so for the Jafar event, people were able to get Jafar at a higher rate because they could prepare the characters before if they really, really wanted Jafar.
Yeah.
So now these events are kind of following suit. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Good point. So now there are 2 other big parts. One is Hero. Well, let's get to him in a second. Because I want to go over the spell changes.
Yeah, because they changed 3? 2 or 3?
3. Yes. So they took the spell hammer to a bunch of spells a couple of weeks ago whenever they decided they needed to rebalance the entire game.
Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're not through with that. Continuing.
They did this?
Yeah.
Well, I was literally one like token shard thing away from getting golden hammer when they did this.
Me too.
Oh, so sad.
And now I still got him, or still got the golden hammer, but I'm like, this is not as good when I'm using it as I remember it being when other people used it against me.
It's true.
Yeah. Also, I think it's important to note that this is the first time they are touching pay-to-play spells like Wild Imagination and Dad Moves.
Good point.
That is a good point, because then you know that they're not
nothing is safe.
Yeah, but also like they're not like being protective of the whale community, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, if you're Glue, I don't know how you're trying to sell spells. Like they've made statements before on how they don't want spells to like dominate a match or teams be built around spells. They just want them to be like a accent to your team.
Yeah.
But it's a hard sell on like convincing players to buy new spells, and I don't know if that's how they're going to roll them out in the future.
And it still is. I mean, I think they still have a little bit of work to do on this, because I still will avoid certain teams based off of spells.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now let's see. How long has it been since the last time the Toy Story event came around? It's got to be 3 months.
Something like that.
Toy Story was really fast after we started playing.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if Wales wailed out on it to start with, they had 3 months competitively using these spells.
They've wailed on something else.
Yeah, that's true. They've had their moment to shine. But Fracken, do you have the link pulled up? Do you want to read off the spell changes?
Oh yeah. Okay, so for Wild Imagination, the heal block is not going to affect all opponents anymore. They're kind of doing the thing where they shift spells towards primary targets instead of affecting your group. The chance to apply heal block to adjacent targets scales from Toy Story allies. And continuous damage no longer applies to all opponents. It just goes to the primary target. And it applies fear now to the primary target. and has a chance to apply fear to adjacent targets based on the number of Toy Story teammates, which I think is a shout out to Lotso and all the new Toy Story villains.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then for dad moves, they no longer inflict silence on all opponents. They just do the primary target with a chance to go adjacent. And that chance increases based on the number of onward allies. And it now grants Ian and Barley unstoppable. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And for Golden Hammer, undefeatable and speed meter fill only apply to downtown heroes now. And they grant undefeatable on revive, which is actually pretty awesome. And I think that was Hammer or the base charge rate is reduced, and the bonus charge gained on there's a bonus charge gained on the teammate being defeated.
Right.
Yeah.
Sad.
Very good.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh wait, sorry, Cauldron. They also got Cauldron.
Cauldron?
Yeah, they got Cauldron. It doesn't charge while it's on
yeah.
the battlefield, and they've fixed the speed boost for allies. So they basically gave it the bucket treatment.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it wasn't necessarily a nerf, just more of a wasn't working as we intended it to.
I totally missed that.
Yeah. The Golden Hammer is actually super interesting because the undefeatable on revive now makes those characters with like low health a bit more hard to deal with as soon as they're revived.
For sure.
Yeah.
But only downtown hero.
Yeah, which makes me sad.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on these Thraken?
I think they're trying to localize spells a lot. Like they're trying to make team specific spells that can be still used with like other teams. They're not going to like make you use it on Onward or make you use it on Downtown Heroes, but they're going to reward you for doing that.
Yeah. And I think it makes sense to make it to go from like AoE style spells to go to a primary target if you don't want spells to be so heavily presenced, right? Like, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, like
that's
Peanuts was so good.
I know.
Well, that's yes. I'm glad they nerfed these ones too, and hopefully, you know, maybe they won't make another spell in the future that is an all enemies debuff type deal.
Yeah,
because that's the main thing that changed. Because you know, Wild Imagination, I hated it from the very start because my first team I worked towards building was a Dr. Facilier focused downtown villain team. But it was impossible to win versus somebody with Wild Imagination because the heal block was always on my team. Because anytime 2 turns would go by, I'd have dealt enough damage to them that they could use the Wild Imagination again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then dad moves did grow way stronger once all these other spells got nerfed.
I had issues with dad moves for sure. For Frozen, I think dad moves was probably the best spell against us. And because it would just stop your team in its tracks, really.
Yeah, you silence. Yeah,
and the offense down and everything like that. Like it was crippling. But then they hit Hammer, which was helping it. So there's a bit of a balance.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not sure. Would you guys say Wild Imagination and Dad Moves were nerfed? Or because they added, and Golden Hammer too, they added little buffs to each at the same time.
It's like I said, it's the shift towards rewarding you for using them in certain situations. I think they're trying to direct these spells away from certain teams where they were too good.
Yeah.
And so they're rewarding you for putting them on teams that would be able to utilize them more, in their opinion.
I think rebalancing is a better word than nerf in these cases.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, because they're not totally useless. They're still good, but they're better in specific situations.
For sure.
Yeah, especially like Wild Imagination with the fear with people doing like Lotso and Randall and Sully and like Chunk and all them.
Mhm.
That's actually really big. I think I saw something about that the other day.
That would make
Okay.
sense.
Now the main course of that update was that
Yeah.
they added a new event,
Mm-hmm.
Microbot Mania, that is a complete each level once for a certain number of tokens for Hero from Big Hero 6. And I heard that Thraken, you got a fair good amount of tokens of Hero.
Yeah, I do have a 7-star Gear 6 hero.
Yeah.
And all I have to say is like, wow, like his kit is incredible. Like it's basically like everything you want out of a support
Yeah.
and more. I really love his character, and I love Big Hero 6, so
Nice.
it was kind of easy.
It's an easy decision.
It was a pretty easy decision.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read through his kit, and you're gonna tell me, Thraken, which parts are good and which parts are bad.
All right.
Okay, so
I like it.
basic is Mega Smash. Deal damage to target opponent. 30% chance to inflict slow for 1 turn. And then once you upgrade it, there's a 10% chance to deal damage to adjacent opponents. Increased 5% per tech teammate. But as of now, he's the only tech character.
Right. So for his basic, what I like most about him, I think he's the most plug and play character in the entire game. Something like his basic fits extremely well into something like a kingdom team, where you're going to want to slow down your opponents as much as possible.
Yeah.
And like take advantage of that. But I mean, otherwise, you know, it's not a high damage dealing basic, but it really the slow is pretty relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then his first special. Now this one I have played against, and it was pretty crazy good.
Yeah.
First special, Micro Barrier. 3-turn magic charge. Grant all teammates 217 shield. At my level 1, very poor hero character. Add 163 shield per charge on hero. Consumes charge. Grant evasion, and tech teammates have 30% chance to gain an additional evasion.
Oh man, yeah.
Now the evasion here is granting all teammates who get the shield also get evasion, correct?
Correct.
That's nuts.
And tech teammates have a 30% chance to gain an additional evasion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you said it all. Like this ability kind of speaks for itself. Giving your entire team evasion is crazy. It's like almost a direct counter to the Elsa bomb. Because if you give your entire team evasion, it avoids that second hit.
Shit.
Also, though, but good news is on Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing it as my 5th on Frozen and some PvP testing it around. Whenever you do this, Sven's table scraps ability actually, or no, yeah, table scraps gives you a chance to gain back evasion once you lose it.
Yeah, it does. It does. You're right.
So if you give your entire team evasion, as long as some of those are going to stick again and again, and like then you're in this perpetual cycle of you can really never hit. Like especially like getting a double evasion on your Kristoff is huge. It's like it's massive.
So Sven has the ability that when a buff goes away on an ally, he has a chance to get it back, guaranteed. If Kristoff had it.
Yes. Yeah, if Kristoff had it, he will definitely get it.
So he's the one that it's impossible to hit because then he'll chain up tons and tons of. Like if your whole team gets evasion, he then could theoretically get 5 evasion.
Yeah. He'll have like 4 turns of taunt, 5 evasion, 2 or 3 defense up. Like Kristoff kind of becomes like this indestructible ball that your opponents can't hit at all.
Oh man,
that's cool.
Yeah. So it it's a counter to Frozen, but it also kind of makes Frozen a lot better if you're going to use him in that regard.
Okay. Then we have the other special upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
2 magic charge. Target immediately takes a turn. Target ally. And hero gains 30% speed meter. Grant a helpful effect to target teammate and self based on their role. So if the target teammate is offense, hero and the teammate will get offense up for 2 turns. If it's defense, defense up for 2 turns. And if it's a support role, haste for 2 turns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this ability is actually super cool. It reminds me a lot of Thrawn in Star Wars. He reminds me a lot of Thrawn's kit, like in other ways, but he's basically going to either take a turn off of your Elsa getting to her ultimate, take a turn off of your dash getting to his next run around. I forgot the name of the ability, or it's going to give it to like huge damage dealers like Zerg or Big Bad Wolf. I mean, with offense up too, and he gains 30% speed meter too. Like, so he's going to be taking more turns. I mean,
and this is every 2 turns.
Yeah, it's every 2 turns, and when it leveled up, it will cleanse a stun. So that's another shout out to
off
Frozen.
The ally?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you level over time, he gets 40% turn meter, which is, I mean, with his speed already as high as it is, because his base speed is pretty high, it's kind of ridiculous how often he's going to be using this ability.
That's crazy. Yeah, he sounds really good and 100% plug and play.
Yeah.
There's only minor bonuses for tech teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't even matter that there aren't any other tech characters because he's great without it.
Great.
Yeah.
Now I'm sad mine's only 3-star.
And we'll get to that. We'll get because I have a point about that as well.
Okay.
Then he has a passive and a leadership. His passive, on turn, hero and 1 random Big Hero 6 teammate gain charged. 50% chance to gain additional charged with an additional plus 20% chance per tech teammate. So this implies we will get more Big Hero 6.
And then there's going to be some kind of charge theme with them, maybe?
Yes.
There's going to be like a charge
would you
matters.
Charge an ally? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And combine this with his shield ability, which is based on like which releases the charges for him. I've had games where I've ended up with more of half than my half of my character's health being shield because of how much shield he can give out potentially, and with the chance to get 2 brought up by other Big Hero 6 teammates, you have potential to put out 2,000 to 3,000 shield on a good, like on a 6 charge or 8 charge hero.
Wow.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So he's going to get better with time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because once you get more tech, oh man.
And then last but not least is his leadership, which we won't get to see the benefits of right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as we said, in time.
Oh boy, yeah.
His leadership is use those big brains. And tech teammates gain 10% speed. And then once you upgrade it, Big Hero 6 teammates gain 10% speed. Now we all already know of the Kingdom meta with very fast Shan Yu and Mickey and Aladdin Squad. That's with an 8% bonus speed.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Hero with a 10%, and if they flesh out the Big Hero 6 faction movie characters in the future, they'll all get 20%, right?
Actually, I have an interesting point about that.
Okay.
I think it's really interesting to read the wording in this ability.
Mm-hmm.
So the original ability is tech teammates gain 10% speed, but the upgrade is Big Hero 6 teammates gain 10% speed. So it doesn't necessarily say big Hero 6 teammates gain an additional 10% speed.
True.
So that I wonder if that means some Big Hero 6 teammates won't be considered tech.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes. But the ones that are, would they get to double dip?
Would they get right? Like kind of like in Star Wars, Sith and Empire get to double dip for Vader's speed bonus, right?
I think they will, but I think the tech teammates are going to be probably, there might be like one or two other people in tech.
Right.
Maybe like Baymax.
Yokai the bad guy.
And Yokai the bad guy could both be Big Hero 6 and tech.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it depends.
Interesting. That would be something that they would have to clarify, I think.
Yeah.
It's very important. 10% speed and 20% speed. Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one of our watchers, Red 5 Emperor Zurg, mentioned how... No, never mind. He didn't say it, but looking at his name where it says Zurg, I thought it would be cool if Zurg and Buzz got tech bonuses. Since they're robot toys.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Technically, they're tech.
With Zurg, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
They don't light up unless you press a button. That requires batteries.
If they require batteries, they should be tech.
Yes.
Oh man. He does say though, a full team at 20% would be bonkers broken, which at this state of the game, yes, would be broken. Down the road, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you get the power creep going.
Okay. So overall, be an A, B, C, D, or F character.
A. I just don't see how his kit will never not be useful. I'll put it that way. He gives turns where you need them. He gives shield, evasion. I mean, so many buffs coming out of him. I like the way they've designed the last two support characters, like in Ana and Hero.
Yeah. They're doing a really good job, just jumping off of that. They're doing a really good job designing the characters with their kits and their animations and like how they work with other characters, but also making them tie in to their own character, like their own self from the movies and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of funny. There was like a whole idea maybe like a month ago where they were going to buff support characters. And instead, I think they just released better support characters.
Yeah. I'm still holding out for that healer upgrade.
Yeah, that would
characters
nice.
Like Ariel.
And Baloo.
Baloo. Yep. Then, so that was the update a week ago.
Yeah.
And today, on July 15th.
Wait, before you skip ahead.
Go ahead.
You said you had something to say about the star levels of Hero.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, good catch. Good catch.
Yeah, I want to know.
So the note that I have that probably Sarah has as well is that I was thinking this was going to be very similar to the Aladdin Jafar event.
Yeah.
But with Jafar, I think you can get enough tokens if you complete it all to have 6-star or maybe even the full 7-star character. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But now with this Microbot Mania event, I was able to complete 4 of the 6 of them. So if I had 7-star heroes that could do all 6 of them, I'll only be getting 10 more tokens. So even if you play through this entire event, you'll only have a 2.5-star hero.
Right.
So how can you... So this character is not meant to be obtained quickly.
No.
Or I don't even know how, as a free-to-play, you'll get him again from this event. Like, people will have to just wait for him to come to a node, or some other
this
event?
event to me was a marquee style, the way Star Wars does their character launches in marquees. It's a one-time event, or like maybe it comes around, but you're not going to get the shards again.
Yeah.
And then then eventually he's going to be somewhere to farm, and this is where you make. This is going to be a question that comes up later in our fan questions, but this is where you make your money, is off of event styles like this.
Yeah, I agree. And
Mhm.
the shift towards putting a character like this, I think I saw Disney Arena Pro in chat said that he's already been rated as the fourth best character in the game. To put a character this good on one of these style of events, when the player base is used to getting characters like Aladdin and characters that are good characters like off the bat for free, like through the tutorial, and like farming characters like Anna and Kristoff, I think it's kind of a notable shift in the game that this is the first of that kind of event.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So we should expect Hero to just be the first of many new one event marquee type, get a 2 or 3 star character.
I could see them doing it.
And then hit the hard notes.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's farmable, and you need it down the road to get Baymax.
The Book 6 Grand Campaign.
Yeah, I gotta finish those.
And they'll replace Darkwing Duck again. Can only be done from the day. You must play for a full year before getting your 7-star
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was my take though. I only have him 3-star because I caved and bought a gem pack thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I bought one and it gave me 20, and I went, okay, thank you. That's it.
That's awesome.
So all I need.
Nice.
No matter how low his stats are, as long as you have the leadership ability,
yeah.
When this team happens, it'll still be so good.
I think mine is like, he's 3-star tier level gear 2 and level 17 or something. Because I was like, I don't know what I want to do with him yet.
Yeah.
That's where he's.
Okay. Then the update they announced today that will take place in a day or two, I believe.
On spoiler.
So, the new content update they announced today, there is a Stitch Tower. Yes, you heard that right. It is not a Stitch event. It is a Stitch Tower of Endurance.
The Tower event.
Yes. So
this is what they said was coming.
Yes. And Stitch is great. So I'm glad they're doing it with him first.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a Stitch Tower currency for the new event exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So we can expect a new tab, I'm guessing, unless they just add it to the spell tab.
I think it would be
the tower.
In the tower event. Like, I think it would be in there. Yeah. Instead of putting it in the store.
Okay. Well, I don't know, because it says there's going to be a new currency.
Yeah, but that tower.
So I think it might, or kind of like when we see events, and they'll have like a packs for that event. We might see like a little like thing in the tower being like spent like a Stitch store.
Yeah. Okay. The only reason I'm thinking it doesn't make, and I'm thinking like long term here, that it doesn't make sense to put it in the exchange is because if you have the Stitch currency only for the Stitch event, then you have to change that event tab every time there's a different tower event happening. So it just makes, I think it is, I know nothing about coding a game, so this is me being completely obnoxious here, but I think it's easier to code it into the tower than to code it into the exchange and have to change that every time.
Good point. Good point.
If anyone knows coding and I'm wrong, tell me.
Either way, there will be a new currency to gain, and this currency is how you're going to get Stitch. I'm guessing it's going to be only Stitch you can get with the currency. But maybe it will be a pack.
I don't know, because they didn't say where any of these people are going.
Well, they're going in. Bubbles is in Grand. Is in Purple Energy.
Is he?
He's replacing Randall,
Yes.
and Gantu is on Elastigirl's node in 4D for Elite Battles, which is interesting because I didn't think they'd be taking Elastigirl off there.
I know.
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh wait, no, they actually just added her onto the end. Elastigirl's still there.
They added her to Grand Campaign.
Oh, Grand Campaign.
Yeah, so they moved her from a regular to a purple.
Same with Randall. He was.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he was Grand Campaign already, but they moved him to a different one.
Oh man, there's more and more Grand Campaign.
Why move Randall just up a few letters in the nodes so that Cobra Bubbles can take his place when they're both still going to be Grand Campaign?
Yeah.
The only excuse I can give is that some people might have 5F,
right, and not have 5K
that were farming. Actually, I have no idea why that doesn't make sense, because if you had K,
yeah,
right, if you were getting rant, right,
yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm sure they have the reasons. But so that we've got a new currency, so and it's gonna also not just be tied to the tower and your own completion of it, but part of club milestone rewards and individual rewards. So if you leave a club during the event, you forfeit your ability to earn more rewards during the event.
I would assume based off of that, you could still get individual rewards. You just wouldn't be getting the club stuff, the club part, which is stupid to leave, I would think, during the event. Just wait.
But yes, so you'll still be able to earn Stitch currency for your individual stuff. But if you want what's probably going to be a big payoff from the club working together, do whatever switches you need to do now. Because however long this tower is up for, you won't want to switch at all.
Because it could be 3 days, it could be 7 days.
Or 10 or 11 days.
Yeah. So this, we know nothing other than what you just said.
Yeah.
So this kind of sounds like a mix of a raid and a blitz and kind of just everything together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like I said, they're kind of just putting their own twist on classic events like this. So we don't really know what to expect when someone says a tower event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because it's yeah. And it's the first one. So obviously there's going to be other. They do say the tower events are going to return. So I'm assuming that you're not going to unlock Stitch the first go round. You're just going to get his tokens for however many.
Well, now, what I'm excited
or maybe you'll unlock them, but you're not going to 7-star them.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm hoping, at least.
Yeah.
What I'm excited about with the Stitch Tower event is that the last few, especially the Incredibles one, that started it, but the last few events they've been doing, the entry to just the first book is very hard to get to unless you prepare it ahead of time, or if it's a brand new event. You've got to open a few 800 gem packs just to have the character ready to do the first book. If this Stitch Tower is like the other towers, where it doesn't require specific people start up, and if it doesn't have gear and stargates, where you can just have a requirement of need Oceanic or need Lilo and Stitch characters to fight in the tower, I like that a lot better.
I would like to know if there's going to be a requirement to do certain parts of the tower. I'm curious if you're going to need to have Cobra and Gantu, or if you only need Oceanic, because that is, because that's Stitch's faction. I'm also curious, since this is the first tower event, what makes them decide to get a character put into a tower event versus a book?
It's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a bold new world we're venturing into.
I know, but I like it. I think it's interesting too. I am curious as well. They didn't say this. All they said was that the currency could only be used for the Stitch Tower event.
Yeah.
So if you have currency left over and the Stitch Tower event rolls back around, I'm assuming it would still be there.
Right. It's kind of just like
Hopefully.
when you have event tokens laying around from like
Yeah.
Lion King or Frozone or
Are they still there when they come back?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. So I would assume it would be the same, but then it's also an incentive. Like there's no point in hoarding that currency.
Right.
Okay.
I haven't seen the store, obviously, so I don't know what's in it, but I would assume there's no point in hoarding the currency.
Okay. And then, along with the update that Stitch is going to be added to the tower, they will add Cobra Bubbles and Captain Gantu to the game. And they already gave a little teaser of what role each character plays. So for Stitch, he's a premier damage dealer for the Oceanic category, which is a very small category. His basic grows in power each time he uses it during his turn, making him able to deal good damage even while all specials are on cooldown or if he is silenced. Stitch's passive makes him very resilient against multi-hit attacks. Don't know how, it's just what it says. And then he he counterattacks when enemies gain charged, keeping them in check.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes. So Stitch versus Hero will attack him every time he gets a charge.
Yikes.
Enemies getting charged, yeah. Or dash.
Yeah, dash.
More importantly.
Getting 10 charges in one turn.
Stitch is going to attack 10 times.
If they all evade, or if a certain number of them evade, he might be able to immediately get rid of Dash's charges by having Dash evade all his counterattacks.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
He's definitely a very targeted character. Like you definitely know why they like what they made him for. That's just like Manticore, Ian and Barley, Hero, Dash, all these people who benefit off of charged.
Yeah. I like it. Sounds fun. Unique. Very unique.
Yeah.
Then we got Cobra Bubbles. Now, who is Cobra Bubbles? I don't remember.
He's the secret, like the Men in Six guy with the sunglasses.
Oh. Okay. So not a really popular character from the franchise.
Not necessarily, yeah.
Okay. Cobra is a tactical support unit who controls the battlefield. Inflicts a new harmful effect, Intimidate. Intimidated units can't assist, counterattack, or gain bonus speed meter. So if you're a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes veteran, it sounds like it's Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Cobra Bubbles can purge helpful effects and cleanse harmful effects from allies. And he passively grants tactics to teammates and assists when teammates with tactics attack. Ooh.
That's pretty cool. Tactics is actually like one of my favorite buffs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For those that don't know, because it's very rare in the game right now, Tactics guarantees any of these chance stuff. So, the dream that I have, is with Sorcerer Mickey. He's got his 2-turn slow area of effect, but it's only 30% chance. But if you get a tactics onto him and he uses that, then it's a guaranteed everybody gets 2 turns of slow.
That's a cool buff. I like that.
Yeah, tactics is. I think it's only really seen on Olaf and Milan.
Mm-hmm.
And Merlin.
Merlin. That's right.
I started farming Merlin solely because he's got I can choose who I give tactics to and then reduce their cooldowns so that they can do whatever special it is I want them to use.
Yeah, I've heard people who have farmed Merlin have not been disappointed.
That's
I like
good.
it.
But here, Cobra Bubbles does it passively. So he doesn't even have to use a move.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Just a matter of how.
Right.
Like what triggers it.
Right. That's cool.
All right.
Then Captain Gantu. Now I do remember this guy. This is the giant gray
The shark kind of guy, or the
hammerhead
whale.
shark, or like a with
He's
horns that curl into his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Galaxy Quest, Captain Gantu. Gantu is a counter-attacking brawler who becomes more and more dangerous the longer he is not attacked. Chance to counterattack whenever any other teammate is attacked.
Ooh.
Inflicts blow on all opponents.
Wow.
And grants tactics to all oceanic teammates. Wow.
That's nice.
So again, we don't know how any of this works. Just that within his kit he has this stuff. But the fact that he won't be ignored, because if you're attacking other people, he's going to counterattack.
For them, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
For them. And the longer you don't attack him, I guess each of his counterattacks are going to become more powerful. So let's say you have, you're running 2 tanks, a double taunt, so that the enemies can't attack Gantu. Each time you attack that tank, he'll counter and he'll keep growing in strength.
And I don't know how they're going to scale that up really yet, because we haven't really had anything like that yet.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Very interesting.
It sounds cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yep. Very cool. And I'm glad they are buffing up the Oceanic faction sooner rather than later. Because compared to all the other ones, besides maybe Mythical, this is the weakest faction of them all.
Yeah.
Oceanic, yeah.
I actually have a big theory about Oceanic, especially with seeing these characters' kits.
Okay.
I was looking into it. I think the person that ties it all together is Maui. And Maui's leadership is going to be huge for this team.
Oh, yeah.
Because Maui's leadership is all about basic attacks and assists. So Oceanic looks like it's going to be like a very heavily assisting faction. And so Cobra Bubbles' kit is really interesting because he's going to assist when teammates with tactics attack, but he's also going to assist when Oceanic characters attack because of Maui's leadership.
Right.
And the more that Stitch basic attacks, the better his basic attack is.
Right, and counterattacks are all basic attacks, so he's just going to keep growing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think Maui's kit is the missing piece for Oceanic to become a very dominant team in Sorcerer's Arena.
Yeah.
And they deal bonus damage, like when they're affected by shield off of Maui's abilities.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to be a huge factor.
That is huge. I didn't even think of that because I don't have him unlocked, so I wouldn't even think to be like, oh yeah, what's Maui gonna do for them?
He's one of the rare.
And I think since you can see his, it's not going to change significantly.
Right, you can see his kit. Yeah, he's one of the rare characters that has not been in an event, but also has an in-game kit ready. Unlike Stitch, who has names for his abilities, but you cannot look at any of the details.
And you do things like fight Maui in Club Dungeon.
Yeah.
Also, so you get to see his kit on display. So I don't know when they're going to release him or characters from Moana, but I think he is the linchpin for this team. I think he's going to really bring Stitch and his crew together.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
So Oceanic could be pretty dominant in the near future.
I like it. Looking
What day is
forward
it?
to
It's July 15th.
2 days
Remember
from now.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Remember that remember that you said that, Draken. July 15th. You called it.
July 15th. I'm calling it. Oceanic. It's the future.
And then the last part of their update was just reminding us that Toy Story 4 event is coming back. And that is the one where you're trying to get Bo Peep. And from the event, one of the main rewards are the spells Bucket of Soldiers, Shoot Kaboom, and Wild Imagination. Which all three are great. So.
And the claw too.
Oh, can you get the claw from it?
Does the claw come back? I actually don't know.
Because he's probably going to be in the shop, but I don't think you get him from the event.
Right, but it's a chance for people to, like, if you can save up your gems and buy some claw. Claw is a very good spell.
Yeah, all of them are good spells.
I don't have it,
right,
but I'd like to have it.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
Cool.
Then, Sarah, I'm afraid I've been thinking.
Dangerous pastime.
I know. Welcome to our I'm Afraid I've Been Thinking segment, where we give our thoughts on how you can improve in the game, from the very basics of how RPG mechanics work to the deepest theory crafting ideas. Today we've already discussed a good bit about tower events, but what could they entail in the future? New way to unlock characters, new currency. If we've already talked through it, that's fine. But what is one character that you guys would like to see in a future tower event?
Belle. Or the Beast.
Belle? Beast?
We only have good song.
I like your Beast idea.
Beast would be a cool reward for a child.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I want like a super support white and a dwarves team.
Ooh,
that'd be cool.
That'd
giving
be cool.
out a bunch of buffs and the dwarves all doing something different. I think that would be really cool.
Oh man.
Sleepy, yeah.
Yeah, and you could have oh man, what's his name? Grumpy and Flick. Oh man.
I think there's like a lot of potential to make a really adaptive team with that kind of idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Wreck-It Ralph because each level with a tower would be better at having different stages. So like for instance, Tower 5 has 13 stages to go through. With these events, they could have you go through the movie with each stage. Like, first one would be for Wreck-It Ralph in the arcade with a bunch of tables around and real tiny. And then the next one will be in the Candyland, Choco Springs and whatever driving through area. Then maybe one in that mountain they had to drive through. And then if they brought in the sequel, then you could go into the internet with all the flying stuff. That's the one I would like.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's cool. There are like a lot of iconic locations you can use. I like that. and Ralph is super cool.
Beauty and the Beast. You could go through the different rooms of his castle. Like one could be the big ballroom where they did the Tale as Old as Time song. Another could be his room with the rose in the corner.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
I think that would be cool for tower events to make like how you're explaining it, to make each like node or whatever of the tower be a different part of the story. That would be cool. Even if you have to replay it, then it's not.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's still a different like storyline as you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any more comments on the new tower stuff?
I just want to see it.
Yeah.
I just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our Can You Feel the Love Tonight segment. Right now we're all in the honeymoon phase of the game. Trust me, it won't last forever. Lots of these types of shows, can devolve into a lot of complaining, but we try very hard to stay positive. So we have an entire segment dedicated to saying one positive thing we've enjoyed with the game for the last week or two. Let's start with you guys. What about you, Celiac Sarah?
I unlocked Mulan today, which was pretty cool.
Have you played with her?
I haven't. I did read through her kit though, and I like her kit. So I think I'm going to level her up. I'm trying not to derail myself, but I think I'm going to do it. She's going to be really cool on our Shanyu Kingdom teams. So I would to level her up and see what happens. And I finally finished Tower 4. I'm so behind on my towers, but I finally finished it today. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Now you'll get big income
awesome.
from your daily
club activity. Yeah. Actually, so I finished it and I had like 1,000. I was like, where did all this come from?
Yeah.
Because I did my like whatever that you have to do for the Tower of Endurance, and then I just kept going up the tower. And I guess I actually different team formation this time. I ended up going with I did Elsa, Sven, Kristoff, Simba. I have no idea why, but it worked. I have no idea why, but anyway, so I did that, and so I finally finished it, and then it gave me the daily whatever thing to do the Tower of Battle. But then I guess I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying enough attention. I clicked it, but then it told me to do it again, because I unlocked Tower 5, it would like do a Tower of Endurance battle in my dailies. So I did one, and then it gave me the rewards again.
Yes. So
which
you get when your day starts, you get whatever the activity is for the level you're at. You can collect that. Then once you reach the new tower, it triggers in the game that you've reached the new tier. So it adds the new one. And
I think what I've done in the past is when I reach the new tier, I just automatically go and do that tier right away, and I just start. And then when I go back to my daily checklist, I just like mass collect, and I don't pay attention to what I'm actually collecting. And obviously today I did it differently. So I was pleasantly surprised when I had like 14,000 in my store.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool. What about you, Thraken?
So this has actually been like probably a month or a month and a half in the works. I finally geared 6, the Frozen team. This was like the first the whole team. This is my first conquest with like close to a 3,500 Frozen team.
Cool.
And there was sadly not really much to use it on.
No, there was not.
As we saw, but it feels really good to finally get the team like all on the same level.
Yeah.
And I'm not level 60 yet, so I can't start doing Gear 7 stuff, but that's in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
Very nice.
congrats.
How big of
G?
a change is it having them all Gear 6
Yeah.
from Gear 5?
it's awesome. Yeah, it's really noticeable things, but when your power levels are close, I have one guy in our tournament who's almost equivalent to me. Our teams are almost equal, just different stones. So it's been kind of fun progressing like side by side along this person, and our teams beating each other all the time. So I finally got the edge, and that's cool to see.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. For me, I 7-starred my Kristoff. I don't
Nice.
have
That's
Elsa or
awesome.
anything, so that hasn't helped me at all. I've been trying to use him in my Kingdom squad. It just does not work for me,
Doesn't work.
especially because my
He's
Elsa
still like
he's too slow compared to all my Kingdom characters.
he's very slow,
He is very slow, yeah.
and he doesn't get the Sean Yu buff, so that doesn't help.
And then my Anna is still only 5-star, so she's too squishy. She dies when I try to throw in my Kingdom team. But I also got enough tokens for Ben to be 6-star. So easily,
I love Sven.
even if
Loves
next week
Sven.
they brought the Elsa event back, I'll be ready for a 6-star Elsa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's my goal, is that when she comes back, I'll be ready. And then my first Gear 6 was Sean Yu.
Nice.
Great Gear 6, yeah.
Mine was Anna.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was Anna. It was somebody on Frozen got Gear 6 the first time. I'm pretty sure it was her. And I'm pretty sure it was her just because I had all the gear. So I was like, okay. Yeah, it was Anna. Everyone else is Gear 5 still.
Cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Kristoff being slow, I found that for me personally, I had a speed stone on and I did worse when he was faster. I did not like it.
The whole thing behind like the Speedstone Kristoff is that you want him to be faster than Dash if you have Dash on the team.
Which I don't.
I have a level 2 defense stone on him, and I really like it. I haven't really moved it, mostly because it costs 200,000 gold to move it. But I've been satisfied with it. Sometimes he goes before Dash, sometimes he goes after him. I kind of just live with it.
Yeah, I had put the speed stone on him, and then I was like, nope, I'm moving this to Olaf. Do not like it.
Good move. Olaf needs it.
Yeah, so.
Good. On to Merlin's Tower, where we answer any questions you may have about the show.
Forgot about this.
That's right. Join us on our Discord server to have us answer your questions on the show. The link to join the server is in the description of this video, this episode. Our first one from Katao. What team do you think will be needed for Speedstones, and when do you think the event will launch? Oceanic, Big Hero 6, Princess, or something else? Note that Spectral Standoff, the second trial, requires Mythical and rewards health and crit chance. Ferocious Face-Off required Wilds and rewards offense, recovery, and crit power.
That was my note, so I would not forget.
Oh, good.
FYI. I couldn't remember how many we had done and what they were rewarding, so I was trying to go back and find it earlier.
Sarah's own personal note.
Yeah, thank you. I have thought about this. So there's only 2 stones left. There's only speed and defense that we haven't done.
Right.
I think what makes the most sense is Oceanic. The reason why I think that makes the most sense, and maybe you guys want to disagree with me, I don't think it's going to be Big Hero 6 because Big Hero 6 is going to be a faction. It's not going to be an overall like alignment,
type,
right?
Yeah.
So there's that. I think it being princess, there is literally only 5 princess characters in the game, whereas with Oceanic there's like 6 or 7, I think. Point is there's more Oceanic, so I think you'll be able to be more flexible with getting into the event and figuring out what team you want to use and all of that. That being said, maybe I'm wrong. I think it's going to depend on if they make it similar to the Spectral standoff, where it was a little bit easier to get into the event, or if it's going to be similar to Ferocious Face Off and it's like a wall, you can't get in right away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and before today, I probably would have disagreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
I had the idea that they were going to make it tech, because after I saw them like release Hero and like I thought the Big Hero 6 team was coming in this update when I saw the update today. But then they dropped Stitch, and that's happening on Friday. So I'm almost sure it's going to be Oceanic, just because they want to reward people who went out and got Stitch and the whole team. And so I think it is going to be Oceanic at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a very big like hint, basically, to be like, hey, we're bringing out an Oceanic character.
Yeah.
And this is the only one that's not left.
Yeah, I 100% think it's Oceanic, which I already said before, because Oceanic has a little wave icon.
Right.
So Princess is not going to be it. Gotta have the little wave icon on the...
You gotta have the...
Yes. If you go to the Spectral standoff, the bottom right picture, right above the Horned King's foot, is the dragon for the mythical logo. So each of them have to have a logo to go there.
Okay. That's a good little catch. I like that.
It will 100% be Ocean.
Gotta farm some Oceanic characters.
And Princess doesn't have that.
All.
Yeah, there it is.
Right, because it's Wilds, Kingdom, Oceanic, and Mythical, I guess, have the little icons.
Yeah. And Downtown.
Right.
But Downtown and Kingdom are so good that they don't need to encourage people to invest in them. No. Which is the point of these trials.
And like Zerg said in chat, I think it is going to be harder because people had to farm Oceanic for Tower 3.
Right.
Like I think these are going to reflect a lot of the tower requirements, because there are only like 2 mythics required for most of Tower 5, and then there's 3 wild required for Tower 4, 3 ocean required for Tower 3. So
right.
So I think it will be harder, and it's also because it's speed stones.
Yeah, speed. Speed is king.
Speed is king.
And it's perfect timing, like you said, Thraken, to have the Oceanic 3 new ones added right now. Maybe a week before they do come out with the new 3rd Sorcerer's Trial, to reward or probably overlap them, so that you know by the end of the Stitch one, I need to get these characters if I want to do well in the Speedstone Sorcerer's Trial.
Yeah, and you'll know if you need, in order to do better in the, say, like the Stitch event or the Stitch Tower, if you know that you need the other 2 characters that are dropping, you're more enticed to whale if you find out when it overlaps.
Yeah. Okay, our next question from Minx. What do you think the new meta will be? Big Hero 6? Or maybe the Oceanic with Lilo and Stitch?
I don't know. I would have said Big Hero 6 before today.
But now you don't.
That's a
think they're
lie.
gonna
I still want it to be Frozen.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, the only reason why I am torn now is because Stitch's kit sound. Well, I mean, we haven't even read his kit. Just like the tease of it sounds so good. I don't know. I wonder if we're gonna get like a rock paper scissors meta.
Yeah. I think
Potentially.
I have no idea. I don't know how they're gonna decide to, because it sounds like for all of beta, Shanyu and Kingdom was dominant.
Yeah.
And they weren't
Yeah.
really worried about having a new meta for that entire year that it was in beta.
Yeah, and it's all going to depend on how long they want the meta to last, right?
Right. So do they want Frozen to still be relevant after the second time it comes around? Or should you start expecting them to not be the new meta by the time just the second time Legendary, a whole faction wrapped up like Frozen was, comes around?
Yeah. And Kingdom feels like one of those factions that's always gonna be relevant, especially with Maleficent coming down at some point in the future.
Yeah.
But they would have to release some very, very bad, like garbage bin, Big Hero 6 characters for them not to be good.
Yeah.
At least like in the upper meta. But like I said, we got to watch out for Ocean down the line when we get Moana stuff, and when we get maybe some more Lilo and Stitch stuff. I think Oceanic could become a pretty big threat down the line. We just kind of have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
How does a full Incredibles team do versus Frozen?
I don't think I've faced one.
I'll be honest. Ian and Barley Manticore teams still shake me to my core as a Frozen
squad
team player. Yes, if they're high level, if they have like a Gear 7 Manticore, Ian and Barley, and two other tunes, usually like Shan Yu or like something else, Ian can put out some ridiculous damage, like absolutely insane. So
I do have problems against them. I don't have problems against Manticore when she's not with Ian and Barley, but when it's the three of them, it is not fun.
Yeah, because Manticore is taunting and counterattacking, and she's hard to get through. She's pretty tanky.
Beefy.
Yeah, beefy, tanky. But yeah, so Incredibles, I feel like I can consistently beat them unless the dash is Gear 7 level 2 offense stone. As long as you kind of isolate Jack, and Dash, I don't think the rest of the team is that big of a problem. But Ian and Barley, still.
Nice. It's good to hear that there's some longevity for investments. And then Minx had another side question of, what do you think of the 4 Frozen characters being $100 to unlock Elsa versus this new one? I think he means the Stitch characters.
Hero.
Or the hero?
No, he means hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that one character to the same level. Do you think the Frozen squad was a mistake? Or that this is what we should expect? A marquee type hero going forward?
I think in this specific case, you're comparing apples and oranges because you're comparing a marquee character to a legendary character.
Yeah.
Marquee characters are expensive to whale on.
Yeah.
Because they, like you said earlier, it's a 2.5-star unlock. So you have to get the rest of that packs or guaranteed shard pack, however many. So they're always going to be the most expensive. I personally prefer spending money on characters like Elsa, where I know that I'm getting a full team. I do the same thing in Star Wars, where I've spent money and I know, like for instance, for when Jedi Training Ray was released years ago, it was easier for me to spend money because I knew I was getting more characters in my roster, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's the same dollar equivalent, and I'm getting a full team versus one character.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
I think that's where the difference is. I would like to events similar to Heroes, though. I think that's a good way to pump out like characters into the game.
Yeah, and you can kind of pick and choose which ones you really want to go in on.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know that they're going to be farmable in however long it is, whatever their release cadence is going to be. You know that they're going to drop on the table soon.
It does seem like their rate from non-free to play to free to play is a bit accelerated.
Meaning,
how so?
The gap between free to play and pay to play?
Yes, I mean, like the from the point in time where they release a character to the time where it becomes farmable. Like we did see for Elsa's event when they dropped Kristoff and Anna, they were immediately farmable in 2 stores. Which is from looking at different other character collector games is not very, very typical. Or if you look at Simba, the Lion King event being released probably like 4 months ago, maybe, and now he's farmable on nodes.
Right.
Yes.
It just feels a little bit accelerated.
Yes, but I would not say accelerated because of how hard it is to farm characters in this game compared to Star Wars.
That's true. 4 attempts or 3 attempts.
Right. Yeah. We've only got there's like 10 different stores in Star Wars, each with their own few characters to farm. You can get 900 potential crystals each day for refreshes that cost the same to refresh as here in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. Here in Disney Sorcerer's Arena, there aren't as many stores. They aren't being updated often.
There's definitely a bottleneck.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a young game at this point that I think they'll have a chance to kind of correct that course once they get new stores out and new kind of content in that kind of direction. But I do agree there's definitely a bottleneck in farming.
I think right now the biggest thing that would probably help that, and not even necessarily help it, but make it easier maybe for the player base to see which way it's going, is to clarify, okay, this event style, if it's like Ian Barley or Simba and it's the books, what makes it that style? What makes it a legendary? What makes it a hero type style? There are all these different ways to get characters now, and now you're adding tower events to it. I think the biggest thing is going to be clarification on what is each one, how often do they come back, if it's a hero type event, or like I'm going to use the word marquee for lack of a better word, how long until that character is farmable? Like what's the cadence we're working with?
Yeah.
Because all of that info right now is not available.
Kind of getting like labels on them.
Yeah. Is it a marquee? Is it a legendary? Is it a hero? Is it a whatever?
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, let's head to Li Shang's training ground to talk about who we are currently training in the game. Because somehow I'll make a sorcerer out of you. So for myself, I am working hard on getting my Frozen team ready for the next time it comes around. Hopefully, they're still relevant by the next time it comes around. And on the side, I really want to get my Kingdom team better. Because my Aladdin and Jasmine are still 5-star. And they need to be at least 6-star for me to get the beef I need to keep them alive in arena and tournament exchange.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Thraken?
Oh, For me, I actually do not have a 7-star Olaf because I don't think he's the best character on the team, and so I haven't put that many resources into him. So I'm currently struggling through the drop rate issue for Olaf, throwing a bunch of purple energy at him.
One at a time.
One at a time, apparently. I'm going to do that tonight. I am. And then I am trying to actually farm Ian on hard nodes. Kind of just throwing that out there. And then just a lot of gear. A lot of gear.
Yeah. Gear is like, gear and gold in this game is hard, man.
The double drop gear event single-handedly pushed my Frozen team to Gear 6. I could not have done it without it.
It's so good.
3 energy refreshes every night.
All of the ads.
All the ads. Every single one. Star Trek.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah?
I am farming. So I'm still working on Sven and Olaf to 7-star. Anna and Kristoff are done for the next Elsa go around. So I'm farming them. And I am farming, now that Sean Yu is available on a node, I've been farming him and Jasmine and Jeannie, just kind of working on my Aladdin team. And gear. All of the gear. It's nuts. I'm actually, I'm kind of surprised by how much gear I need to farm right now.
Gear 7 gear has me really, really afraid. It is a lot. Like a lot. So
yeah, I'm not there yet. So I don't look
I've been using a lot of my club exchange currency for it because it's nuts.
Yeah, the Conquest store with all the gear definitely been almost. I'm not even really farming a character in there now that I think about it. I'm just farming gear.
Yeah, me too. All gear.
Wow.
Get ready.
Well, thank you guys for joining us this week. Thank you, Thraken, for coming and chatting with us.
Thanks for having me on.
It was a pleasure having you, man. This was great.
Yeah.
And thank you, Sarah, as always.
You're welcome.
That ought to do it for this show. And until next time, Jeannie, you're free.